Deed documents is legal documents that are important in property acquisition. Once again, you are welcome to this channel, Mayowa Property Consult. And if you are just watching this or just come across this channel, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell in order to get notified on our subsequent videos concerning real estate investments, market tips for both profitable investment and investment security. In our last video, we talked about both deed and survey documents, and I promised to talk about types of deed documents that are non-general. So here they are. We have deed of assignments as one, deed of agreements two, deed of conveyance three, deed of gifts four, and deed of partitioning five. And sometimes the power of attorney also can be included, mostly common in the East. So here we go. Deed of assignment is usually being issued by land seller to the new buyer, in which the land has passed through two buyers, that is from the original or the foundation owner to first buyer, and then from the first buyer to the second buyer. So that's it. Once again, deed document is legal transactional document that shows a transaction has been done between the former landowner to the new buyer, in which all the rights of ownership, interest, oaths, and all other information are usually written on, including the amounts, the date, and everything with signatories. For example, if Mr. A have a family land and sell it to Mr. B, and then Mr. B then he decided to sell that same land to Mr. C. So Mr. A is supposed to issue deed of conveyance, that is, Mr. A has conveyed his family land to Mr. B, and then Mr. B is expected to assign the formerly conveyed land to Mr. C. So that's how it is. So the root or the first deed from the onset is deed of conveyance, that is from the original dweller or the foundational owner, who are the first occupants in that land, to the first buyer. Example, if Mr. Alao also owned his family land and then decided to sell it to Mr. James, so Mr. Alao is expected to sign deed of conveyance to Mr. James, with all his rights and interest being transferred to Mr. James being the new owner. So, and after that, and then if Mr. James also tends to sell it, Mr. James will sign deed of assignment, or will assign his deed and all rights to his next buyer. So that's for the two, both deed of conveyance and deed of assignment. So we explained both at a go. So for the third deed, deed of gifts, here, as the terms implies, is, so it means if two siblings, that is a brother and sister, tends to gift each other a property, so it's better to have it documented officially in order to prevent future conflicts which might not caused by both parties but children of parties involved. That's one of the importance of deed of gift. So if a brother tends to gift his sister a portion of land being bought by him earlier, and then such person is expected to have deed of gifts to the sister in order to have everything be cleared and being legalized. So with that, they must have a lawyer to draft the deed of gift for them, and also if a community gifts someone a land. So gone are those days that all these things are done orally, but now oral gifting is no more advisable and not proper. Rather, documentation and legalizing needs it's more better for reference purpose and to prevent eventuality. So an agreement between the person that's gifted a beneficiary a property is known as deed of gift. So that's clear enough. And the fourth one is deed of agreement. This means there is agreement between two parties to transfer for formal rights of ownership to new buyer. That's it. Also, for the fifth one, deed of partitioning. This is only known to few and it is important in corporate purchase. That is, two couples coming together to buy a property and then both used Mr. Samuel and Mrs. Rachel. It means Mr. Samuel alone can't sell such land without the consent of Mrs. Rachel because they both signed the deed of assignment onset. And then if any of them tends to sell the land, there must be deed of partition consenting that out of the two plots we bought, one has been partitioned to the other party and the other party have for right to sell his partitioned portion. So that's it. And this is also common and usually issue by corporate organization that both large expanse of land and then they tend to start sharing it in between themselves or to start partitioning it in bits that will serve all the parties involved. So that's it for the deed of partitioning. It means separating of some portions and having it signed and stated by all parties involved in order to be on safer side. And without that, a single person out of the parties that signed the deed of assignment earlier cannot sell such land. And if any of documents being given to you is owned by two people or corporate people and then they are not giving you deed of partitioning, so your document is not completed yet except you have it been given to you that so that you will be on more safer side and it shows that all parties involved have approved partitioning of such portion and the partitioned portion also can be sold out to new buyer. So power of attorney as commonly used in the East is just the authorization of one's representative to act on one's behalf in disposing of land or in selling of land. For example, the community head can authorize an agile youth to start selling their community land on behalf of the entire community. So, and to have such legalized power of attorney must be addressed to that agile youth, making it more lawful and more legal for such person to sell the land and in that land all this must be well stated, that is the address of the representative serving as agents or a middleman between the owner, then his name, the size of the land that he is expected to sell, and then it must be signed by the owner, that is the community head who authorized such person. And sometimes it can as well be signed by both parties, but not compulsory. That's it for the power of attorney. This is well known in the East, and that document alone is not safe and didn't guarantee one's investment security. So it's better to have all other documents intact and then go for the land perfection. So if you enjoy this video, kindly subscribe and share it with your friends and family, and then drop your question below. Once again, you are welcome to my property consult, and thank you for watching.